Hi guys, my name's Jennifer, and today I will be discussing the ketogenic diet. I will be talking about the difference between the keto diet and other diets. I will be discussing how the diet works and the benefits and the disadvantages of the keto diet. So, the keto diet was first introduced by physicians as a treatment for epilepsy in adults and children in 1920. It didn't really become popular until 2012. New York Times did a story on the diet, and brides were running out to try the diet so that they would fit in their wedding dresses. And then again, it became a popular trend in 2016. Now, I personally have not heard of the diet until just recently. I'm in a nutritional class, and when I read about the keto diet, it kind of made me interested because it works in your body different than other diets work. So, as you guys know, that our body makes energy through carbs. The carbs are broken down and they create glucose. And as we learn in school, that cellular respiration is a process when cells use oxygen to burn glucose and make energy. So, when a person is on a diet, they usually count carbs and cut out unhealthy fats and sugars, and they just generally eat healthy. But they eat, meat that's healthy and lean and vegetables and stuff. They can still eat carbs, they just can't go over their daily intake of carbs. So, how is the ketogenic diet different than these diets? When someone is on the keto diet, their body uses fats to create energy instead of carbs. So they're not counting carbs, they're not really eating them at all. This process is called ketosis. And ketosis is when the liver breaks down fats into molecules called ketones. Ketones then in turn create energy. When someone is on this diet, like I said, they don't count carbs. Instead, they count macronutrients. And their diet consists of 5% carbs, 15% protein, and 80% fat. Now, if you'll notice on the screen, it shows the traditional diet, which are higher carbs, versus the keto diet, which is higher fats. It shows that in the traditional diet, the glucose level rises, and then in turn, the pancreas creates insulin, and then the insulin shuttles glucose into the cells, which produces energy. Well, then, if you look at the bottom where the keto diet is, the keto diet is higher fat, which the glucose levels fall, and this triggers the lipase releases stored in the triglycerides, which lipase is fats. The fatty acids then travel to the liver, and then the liver produces ketones, which then in turn produces energy. So, as we know, energy is usually made by carbs, but then when you switch it up, now your liver is producing your energy. So when your body realizes that it's not being able to produce energy through glucose, it has to adapt and figure out a new way to create this energy. Because if you don't have energy, then you're just like a vegetable. So while your body is trying to adapt to figuring out how to create energy a new way, some people get what is called keto flu. So keto flu is when your body is trying to adapt, then your body is going through changes and you don't feel like yourself usually it says right here that it's supposed to only last a week. Some people it lasts longer, some people it only lasts a couple days. And keto flu is your body trying to adapt and get ready for ketosis, just like when you have the regular flu, your body is trying to kill off those bad viruses and germs that are in your body so your immune system kicks in. And I had the opportunity to speak with a dietitian for Rogers Memorial Hospital. He works on their eating disorder unit, and he actually had the keto flu. He said he tried the diet for 3 weeks. He never got through the adaptation phase, and he noticed that at night his body temperature went way up and he had profuse sweating. He got really bad nocturnal leg cramps. And he tried the different supplements. He tried potassium chloride and magnesium citrate, which he found on a popular keto recommendation website. And he said he drank a lot of water, and he couldn't clearly focus and he couldn't concentrate. And if you notice up here, fatigue, sugar cravings, dizziness, difficulty focusing, nausea, difficulty getting to sleep, irritability, and stomach irritability are all symptoms of this keto flu. Some people bodies, like I said, some people's bodies never adapt to the changes that are happening. Some people's do. However, after you get over the keto flu, some people notice a weight change. Some people reported significant weight changes in the beginning, but then after they've been on the diet for a while, they noticed that they didn't have that weight change and they didn't seem like they were losing weight. And I mean, that could be due to factors such as they're consuming too many carbs, or they're not exercising enough, or they're not eating enough fats to produce that energy. So, you're all probably wondering by now, if I decide this diet is for me, do I have to supplement anything because I'm not consuming carbs? Majority of the time, the answer is yes. And some people take magnesium supplement of 500 milligrams a day for constipation. Sodium is highly recommended as a supplement, and the intake would be 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. Also, potassium should be increased to 3,000 instead of 2,000 milligrams. And, like every diet, you're going to have to supplement something because your body's not going to get the nutrition that it needs if you were just eating healthy. Because you're usually on a diet, you're losing something. And I would recommend sitting down with your doctor and discussing your options and probably having some tests done, because you don't want to start a diet that consists of eating very little carbs if you have any underlying health issues that are certain. There are certain situations in which people shouldn't do the ketogenic diet, such as people who have had their gallbladder removed or they have gallbladder disease, because fat is harder to digest. People who have had bariatric surgery, which is a weight loss surgery or gastric bypass, because the fats are harder to absorb. Women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, because protein requirements are higher when you are pregnant, because you are supplying your unborn child with these nutrients as well. People with pancreatic insufficiency, they should not do this diet because, once again, fats are more difficult to digest. People who are thin, or if you have a BMI of 20 or less, you shouldn't be on this diet because additional fat calories may be required, because if you have a BMI of 20, you don't really want to lose any more weight. And people with anorexia. Now, the one thing when I spoke with Vincent He's the dietitian for Rogers Memorial. One thing that he said really stuck with me, and I personally was going to attempt to do the diet. However, this is what he said. He said, if there's one thing that I've learned from working with eating disorders, it is that restrictive diets that have good or bad foods are all many people need before beginning a slow spiral downward into disordered eating. Once you start following this mentality, it's very hard to make your way out of it. And I had shared with him that I was thinking of doing the diet. And one of the first questions he asked me was, do you have family members who have had an eating disorder? And I told him personally, I have not, but I have had family members that have struggled with it. And he shared with me that he wouldn't recommend me trying this diet. And I had the chance to speak with a couple different people who have tried the diet or who are active with it. 2 out of the 3 are strong advocates for this diet. When interviewing them, they had some different questions, or they had different answers for the same questions. One of the ladies said that it took her body less than 2 days to adapt, while the other said it took more than 4 weeks. They both do take a daily supplement, but one of the ladies had issues with electrolyte imbalance, and she said she took a Powerade and it kind of refueled her electrolytes, and she was fine after that. So, like any diet, it depends on your body and your dedication. My advice to anyone who decides to do this diet is to be careful. Make sure you don't have family history of an eating disorder. Even though you might be strong-minded, it could happen. Do your research and consult your doctor first. And good luck to anyone, because I don't have the willpower. I love food too much. So thank you guys for taking the chance to sit here and listen to me rattle on about the keto diet. If you try it, let me know how it works. Let me know if you enjoy it. Behind me are just a couple samples of some pictures of some foods that are on the keto menu. Now, these pictures are actual pictures taken by a friend of mine who is on the diet. And here we have the websites that I used for my project for information. Vincent Suha is the dietitian from Rogers Memorial. The photo credit goes to Debbie Roche. And once again, thank you guys.